Hello, and welcome to a little bonus episode of the Purposeful Shift. Today's episode is a bit different from the usual episodes because today in the UK it's Mothering Sunday. And I just wanted to take a few minutes to acknowledge something that I feel like perhaps we don't talk about enough, which is that motherhood, or being a mother, mum, it doesn't always look quite the way we imagined that it would. So when we picture becoming a mum, I think many of us carry a sort of picture in our minds. School runs, chatting in the playground, watching sports days or school plays, running our children to clubs, helping with homework, perhaps at the kitchen table, and importantly, celebrating our children's achievements. And all those little everyday moments that seem to be part of this normal picture of parenting and what being a mum is. But for some women, including myself, motherhood ends up looking quite different. So both of my children are on the autistic spectrum. And like a lot of families navigating special educational needs, our life hasn't and doesn't follow the routines that people often expect. So, for example, my daughter doesn't currently attend school, which means that whole rhythm of that routine of school drop-off, pick-up, standing in the playground and connecting with other parents, the play dates, the parties, after school clubs, school events, PTA, that's just not part of my life anymore. And it hasn't been for some time. It was for a little while when my daughter was younger and my son did attend school. And I think sometimes the absence of that can make you feel a little bit isolated, if I'm honest. And please, it's not that I don't love my children or that I necessarily think school's the best place for them, because in my case with my daughter, school definitely isn't the best place for her. And my kids are amazing. My son has a heart of gold and an infectious positive attitude. He's just always happy, and it's lovely to be around. And my daughter is just so bright. She's so quick and witty that they're absolutely brilliant. But my reality of motherhood isn't the version that perhaps I imagined it would be when I was younger, or even when I was pregnant, or even when the children were young in their early years of school. That's when there were play dates and parties and drop-offs were part of my daily life. And I think what I've come to realize over time, especially the last few years, is that motherhood isn't defined by those routines. It's not defined by whether our children are in school or not, whether we're able to stand in the playground and connect with other parents, which of course that connection is really important for our emotional well-being. It's not about whether we're helping with spelling homework or whether we're baking cakes or helping our children prepare for exams. Motherhood is so much bigger than that. It's that patience that we have when we show up day after day, even when we're exhausted, when we're fighting for our children, or where we're juggling work and life and their lives and their social. It's the advocacy that we demonstrate when we stand up for our children, often in situations which are new to us and quite possibly in change that we're still navigating ourselves. And it's the quiet moments where we're supporting our children through something that the rest of the world just might not understand, through things that perhaps they don't even understand, and maybe we don't understand ourselves, through diagnosis, for example. And I think sometimes it's celebrating really big milestones, those achievements that we've dreamt of for our children. So if they do complete examinations or if they learn to drive. But sometimes it's celebrating the tiny little steps that nobody else would notice other than you. The fact that your child perhaps even got dressed that day, or that they sat at the table and ate dinner with you, or that they had a conversation with a stranger, things that society might otherwise just take for granted. And I also think motherhood can be quite a complicated day for many women. And I imagine for some people it's incredibly joyful. It's getting together with family and creating new memories. But for others, perhaps it brings up feelings of grief or longing or exhaustion or reflection. I know within my circle plenty of mums who are raising children with additional needs. And there'll be single mums who are trying to do everything on their own, and every day is a challenge. And there'll be mums who are balancing careers and family life and just trying to keep all of the balls in the air without dropping one. And there'll be women who desperately want to become mothers, and women who have lost children, and women who are caring not only for children, but also for parents. And there are women who may not be mothers themselves, but who nurture and support the people around them with all of their love. So when I think about Mothering Sunday now, I think about it less as this picture perfect celebration. It's not about gifts and breakfast in bed, and my children probably won't be up before lunchtime to give me breakfast in bed. So that's definitely not on my radar. But I try to think about Mother's Day as a moment to recognize the many different ways that care and love show up in the world, and to celebrate anyone who is sharing love with a child or another human being today. Because for me now, as a mother, the best I can do is not to try to get it perfect, because I don't believe perfect exists, but just to keep showing up every day, again and again, with as much love and patience and kindness as I can show to my children, to make sure that they feel and know that they are loved. So whether today feels joyful for you, whether it's emotional or complicated, or perhaps it's simply like any other Sunday and it doesn't hold too much meaning, I just wanted to send a little moment of appreciation your way. However your version of motherhood looks, and to all the mums listening in every possible version of that word, happy Mothering Sunday to you.